So let's start our treatment. The first step is to place our patient in the right position and put his hand on the pillow, and we need to pay attention to the pillow height should not be too high to prevent the thoracic flexion, and the pillow under the scapula is very important to prevent the scapular retraction, and the pillow under the elbow and the pillow under the forearm. The elbow should to be comfortably flexion, and the forearm needed to be pronation, and the hip joint, thigh, and knee also need to be on the pillow to prevent the hip joint external rotation and the knee high extension. And we should to note that the spine position is not the best position for the patient, and we need to change her position from time to time to avoid the pressure sore and some abnormal reflex. And the next step is the passive range of motion. It is very important to minimize the development of contracture of muscle and to prevent the muscle abnormal muscle tone and spasticity. And we should pay attention to the scapular range of motion and move the scapula from different range of motion before we move the other joint. And we should pay attention to through this passive range of motion course. We should to avoid the suddenly stretch. We should avoid the inappropriate stimulation. And so firstly, we change the position from the supine to the side lying position, and we use one hand to stabilize the scapula and another hand to stabilize the and put his arm on our shoulder, and another hand to stabilize his hip joint and help him to change the position. Down, retraction and protraction, and abduction and adduction. Remember, move slowly and avoid suddenly stretch and avoid inappropriate stimulation. Because turnout has slightly increased the muscle tone in his flexion muscles in upper limbs, so we do some stretch to minimize his increased muscle tone. We put one arm on his distal humerus and another hand on his wrist, and slowly extend his arms. And wrist, and fingers. And another side is So the next step is our sensory stimulation treatment. Cause our long-term goal is to help Tonald to achieve the UCD calm to calm his hair. So we now need to stimulate his grasp with the sensory stimulation. And firstly, I will lift up his hand more highly and put his face on the body side which he will receive the treatment, so that he can has the visual stimulation at the same time. And the tool I use is this comb. One of this its end is with the sharper point, and it can give turn out the sensory stimulation, and the other end of this comb is sleepy. And firstly, I will give Tonald pressure on his fingers and shut out my command, and use the another hand to help him to grasp. Tonald, hold my hand. Hold my hand. Tonald, hold my hand. And with the comb, and the comb is used to grade down the occupation. I will put the arm on the Tonald's palm and use the other hand to help Tonald to grasp, and shut out my command. Tonald, hold my hand. Hold my hand. And I will use this and sleepy end to grade up the occupation, and put this end on the Tonald's hand palm. Pay attention to use the same strength, control your strength at the same level. Tonald, hold my hand. Hold the hand. Hold my hand.